this is gonna go live on your guys' YouTube channel or his or wherever it's set to go live to.
Guess what? You'll know it's a test.
Yeah. So,
And there's a 30-second delay with YouTube.
yeah, it's like most streaming things. See, Zoom has a lot of people spoiled because it's almost instantaneous.
Right.
But trouble is there's kind of a bit of a price you're paying for that in terms of how libraries. And he didn't leave me a message. It's one of my coworkers. So yeah, I don't quite know what. So maybe
going live on YouTube
maybe,
would not affect the audio quality.
It's not so much the audio quality that I'd be concerned about. It's the bandwidth consumption. Because right now I'm not totally convinced. Listening to that recording, I didn't hear anything that sounded particularly garbled or wrong.
No, this was fine.
Yeah.
I got to get to the part where it's
right, but
I think bandwidth is the issue. I think the more people are joining us.
Well,
David says we only usually get 25 to 30 that join us live.
well, my first concern here is you're on Wi-Fi. That right there is a severe limitation on how fast this thing is going to connect and stay running and online.
Right.
Wi-Fi is never the way to do it because somebody walks by and their phone
And
their
there it goes.
hearing aid or whatever has.
Well, that's the problem I have with these hearing aids.
That's you get interference that garbles something that knocks you off. You get a. I mean, it can cause. There's a lot of things.
99.9% of the time we're hardwired. I just didn't pull the Ethernet cable out.
Okay, well, I'm just.
But we weren't this past
No, we
week.
weren't. We were not this last week.
So I'm throwing that out there. It being on Wi-Fi, that's it. Because I don't know what your speed. I'm going to run a speed test on this. So I'll just.
It's right there on the taskbar. That's it.
Oh, this.
No, one more.
That's OBS.
That's it.
That was the first thing that I opened. Here, I'm just. It's easy enough for me to just.
I gotta find the original manual of that. Got them all laid out on the table.
We got a bunch of stuff running, so it's gonna say.
And we want upload speed, right? Because we want it to get out well.
I mean, you're doing both, and that's really not that bad. I mean, that's good for Wi-Fi. I'm kind
Guess
of
what?
surprised, but.
Guess what? Look to your left. The router's there.
Right, it's not so much that, it's usually the hardware actually limits how much bandwidth it'll let go out on the Wi-Fi network.
Apparently whoever put the routers did his homework.
It sure would seem that way.
It wasn't me. Somebody that knew more than I did.
Yeah, let me look at the router real fast. It's the black one?
Yes, sir.
One block.
Okay, that's what it is. Well, then the fancy new computer is doing its job. So when these meetings are going on, are there
maybe
what's this
25 people, 30 people
in the room? Potentially
last
on the
time-
same Wi-Fi network potentially, or like same internet service from that? Okay. And you're using,
If everybody else's phone is like mine, it automatically switches to the one that you're close to.
yeah, you got it saved. Is there how many wireless microphones are you usually using during one of the meetings? Two. Okay.
This time we were using 4.
Okay. Let me double check your receivers real quick.
Unless they're being moved back to the meeting.
Yeah, that's right. You
Two
guys.
Sennheisers. I think we got this.
Well, I'm pretty sure I told you guys before. This one's probably.
Is illegal,
Yeah.
but I'm not.
All I can do. The final go to you guys. That's all I can really say about it is like, yeah, I mean, I put it in writing
What about that
before.
little one up top?
What's that?
What about that? Because I just found that.
I don't know. There's not. It says channel G/H, which is their own internal thing. I'd have to look up.
Take a look at what they are.
Yeah, the model number, and I mean, maybe that. Right, something on the box that says what frequency range they're in. Complies with new FCC frequency rules. But from when?
It's new, right?
Yeah.
The guy that purchased it, never read it. And that might not work
And he's no longer with us.
physically. Completely.
Yeah, that's one of those oddball ones that I can't tell you off the top of my head if that's a compliant frequency or not, but depending on how old these are.
I'll have to print that manual for us, Charlie. Let's see something.
Oh, well, I was saying, I think I found the transmitter's frequency range. It's an odd frequency. This 196.15 megahertz here.
Oh, okay.
I believe that's the frequency it's on, but I honestly
But
don't.
it's telling me. Okay, anyway. The fact that it's in a box for a long while, I have no idea.
A copyright or something like that on something would maybe say, but it's not.
It's not there.
That's okay. Keep your secrets.
Well, I'm hoping that since it was approved last year, the rest of the work that we
Haven't done yet. Yeah.
will be done this coming off.
It was funny because I was actually just thinking about you guys like well, actually, I've thought about you guys a lot. I got the same mixer for my church.
You can't read it.
Well, it's not, it's actually,
It's easy.
they've already started making it obsolete on me because I told them like, I'm gonna downscale, I'm not using this huge thing, blah, 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 blah. And then they turned around right after I cut the channels down by like a third, because I had like a 64 channel mixer or something like that. They were using like the pulpit mic and a piano mic, and that was wireless. That was it. That I did not need
need this giant monster of it. I was like,
What they
"This
started
guy-
adding to you?
let's have a praise team. Let's just add a praise team now. We want 4 singers, we want a piano, I'm like, we want a keyboard as a separate, oh, but I need to have stereo inputs, even though I'm gonna compress everything down to a mono thing before it actually gets recorded anywhere. He needs to have the stereo inputs because he's a music director and they're,
Well, yeah, so you give him what he asked for, it just feels no different.
yeah, it's,
Precisely.
how's that? That's better? Good.
We've all learned that one.
Yeah, it's like, okay.
That's, but the nice part about that is you can daisy chain. If
Right.
they're willing to spend another $600 for
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not.
12 more channels.
Well, and that's what I'll tell them, is like, you know what I want? Give me the rack mount version that I'm gonna put in the equipment rack that's on stage. That's gonna be just your monitor mix, that's your instrument inputs, and the only things I want coming up to mine that I'm going to touch is going to be the pastor's mic, the pulpit, my recording mix for what I'm sending to the stream.
And that's it.
All right,
And then-
you play down here, I'll play up there.
Yeah, like, I wouldn't even actually link the two together the proper way, I would literally just make his a submix that just comes up to mine. And then that way,
What he doesn't know is not gonna hurt him.
yeah, I can set it, maybe it's a software thing, but like, so you don't actually look at like your submixes, I don't think, all that often. But yeah, see the submix faders, that's actually what I really need to set it up as, because that would make it so he can do his own, literally mix just
His own
those
thing.
microphones.
What he needs.
And then I just have a fader that makes them suck louder. That's. Oh, I mean, they're great. They're all wonderful people who, but bring a lot to the service.
I understand, believe me, I understand what you're saying is,
Well, it's just, I was not really, brought into this to run monitor mixes and stuff. That wasn't my job when I took the position with the church. It was run the slideshow and mute and unmute some microphones.
But seeing as you can do that,
And then it evolved
Well,
into help with
since
the
you
live
can do
stream.
that,
Yeah. Well, and then all of a sudden it's no big deal for us to just add this. It's a problem. So, back to the Behringer manual thing. We could not find
we
the.
could not find a pig,
All right, so let's see.
you calling me?
not on purpose. I did by mistake. Hey, Charlie. And it all starts again tomorrow at 7:30.
Oh, man. You're supposed to stay this time, right?
No, Friday morning.
Oh, that's tomorrow, Thursday, yeah. We'll give you that
No,
day.
tomorrow morning at 7:30, I get a COVID test. They
Yeah, I gotta
they-
do,
They stick the,
I gotta do that on Monday.
well, I was supposed to do it Friday and go in the hospital Monday. Monday afternoon, they changed everything and rushed all the tests. Because for some reason, the surgeon will not be available Monday. And it was his office that set everything up. Thursday, a week ago.
Mm-hmm.
Read the instruction, keep these instructions.
I just wanna get it behind you. You just wanna get it behind you.
I just want it done.
I know.
Me too. I've been working towards getting this taken care of for well over a month now.
Oh, the last time you were here, and you and I were,
Mhm.
I was so sick, I don't remember what we talked about. I don't know if you,
I really don't remember what we were talking about exactly either.
we were doing all the jacks and stuff behind the stage.
Yeah, we were looking, yeah, and I think you had the thing
Yeah, and
built
it's all
across
gone.
and stuff, and you told me
All
it would
gone.
end up being all gone soon
I
enough.
knew it was gonna have to go away, the powers that be did not like it. Which,
So it goes. Okay, well, those are all just cautions and stuff. I'm not exactly seeing. Step one hookup, this is the English version? It's all versions. Okay.
Because I've got one manual for a million different things.
Yep, I remember that. And I'm sure I printed a paper copy.
Two, controls. Input one, combination XLR quarter instrument, connect microphones, instruments, line level audio sources, these connections, instrument quarter mic, connect and instrument audio sources to this connector line instrument.
Who's texted me?
That's a work one. I will answer you later. Stereo mono. UMC 240 HD. Yep, that is not yours.
Well, it covers them all.
Yeah,
If you look
but
at it.
in the
These-
parentheses right
these
here,
are not
it's,
ours.
yeah, it's saying that that applies to those models. So skip past that, skip past that, monitor AB, skip past that, skip past that one. Signal LED indicates that audio signal is present in the channel. Mic gain level UM2, mic line gain 1, and that's your model specifically. It's just marking it knob, adjust the input level at mic line. Instrument gain is UM2 knob, adjust the input level at the instrument 2 input. These are all very obvious things. MIDI in and out.
And
Output.
the only knob I think I have live is the input knob. The other two should be at
Well, it should be an
minimum.
you ought to have an input and an output knob on it, I would think. I mean,
You should.
when it's feeding back into the mixer on that video thing, that's giving you another place to attenuate it. But yeah, like your instrument gain knob, you drew a mark on it. It's not all the way down or all the way up. Someone put a little Sharpie mark on it.
That would have been me,
And
for some reason.
yeah, so 8 o'clock, which is fine. You're controlling the volume of it through the software, so let me just double check where the output gain is set at 12 o'clock.
No buttons. What are the two other?
The switches?
These two.
Oh, one of these would be a monitor output where like you'd be able to plug in like some headphones
Right.
and like listen to what was going out. This one is, that's another input. And that's where I was saying that it might want that stereo input. That could be the whole cause of the problem, is just that you're only giving it one channel.
So how do you give it a second?
You would use an additional one of the aux mixes. You could stereo link them so that way they would match. And then, I mean, you would need to hook the other cable.
Something tells me all the offs are full.
It would need to adapt to an audio setting. I don't know. Yeah. This is A, right? Where's B? Yeah.
B actually goes to the amp. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, B is the actual monitor set? This A cable right here. Oh, that's, okay, that's coming.
Put B out, let's see if that's a stereo. Just for shits and giggles. That's a one. That's a stereo too. My guess would be, my guess with C and D would be also stereos.
Well, yeah, I don't know if the jack itself is stereo, just like I don't know if the cable at the other end of the board is stereo. That would be the quickest way for me to tell. So this stage snake goes back over here and is what plugs into the back of the mixer, correct?
Yep.
Well, it's probably a mono output. There, it's really only I mean, it's a one channel output. It's not going to send the stereo out on that offset. So we're going to be looking, because you still have 6s open here. I only saw the 4, A, B, C, and D up there.
Because there's only 4 on the state,
Right.
and we're using all 4. Correct? Because
I saw there was something plugged into those jacks up there, or actually, I don't think C and D did have anything plugged in. You still have open aux, something's on here too, but I never really let you do much with it, actually. You don't have anything, at least right at the moment, there's not anything. Aux 3 and 4 would be something. Well, because if you did plug something up there, you want it to be hooked up back here. That would be my thought. Well, the first issue I've got is I need to hear the problem. Right? So until I do that, I'm kind of just shooting in the dark a little bit. Like this is speculation still at this moment in time.
I thought this was the time.
Can we go back to a meeting that had YouTube?
Hmm?
We go back to an older meeting?
Golf cart driver age restriction, children under 14 years of age are not permitted to operate a golf cart within the community. I understand that. But it doesn't get it.
When did Barb make her thank yous to everybody? You remember, Charlie?
I'm sorry?
You remember how far into the meeting Barb made her thank yous?
It was almost at the end.
That's what I thought.
This says USB microphone. This microphone is live right now, is that?
Yeah, gotta take them out.
Check, 1, 2. Okay, so it's getting in fine. Device properties. I'm gonna rename this from microphone to.
Letting their dogs take a dump in the picnic.
Everybody,
See, her mic just went away.
the actual officers are.
Did you hear?
That is open
Mhm.
to the public, okay?
That's where I wanted to get.
Roughly the same size as what's
Yeah, and
close to.
What's an estimated cost if we had to replace those?
Would have been about $5,000.
A $5,000 savings on behalf of Arrow, assuming the responsibility.
all right,
that
can
they did
you
not provide the service
cut
we
that?
pay for.
Show in meeting option to turn on original sound. What does turn on original sound mean?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Now, is that
How much?
a
You-
Zoom setting?
Yeah, these are settings in Zoom, which is, again, I'm not super, I mean, I don't use Zoom a lot. Like I help
Right.
people get stuff
Right.
into it, but I noticed, the suppress background noise setting was on auto. I don't like things being set to auto because that means they'll just decide to change stuff on you on their own. And I mean, that could be,
That's part of our problem,
and
because it did at a couple points in the meeting, and there was nothing I could do to.
is there any way that you think we could reproduce? I mean, you're on a call right now. I haven't been able to exactly like hear the call. We're live, so it's going to record all of it to YouTube.
Let me see. We're close to where.
Okay,
Go back in live again.
good news.
Check 1, 2.
Go on to, the induction of the 2021, board members.
Check 1, 2. Testing 1,
Customary that we
2.
ask if there are any.
Check. So I mean, that's what it's getting. I don't know if you, this volume's set kind of low here, so if you want, I can just adjust this here. How high do you have the, yeah, you've got your playback set.
You're coming through in my ears right now.
Go ahead, try it now.
Check 1, 2. So this is the live sound you're hearing right now. What this is doing is making a recording.
Same thing I'm hearing.
Yeah, and I mean, there's an adjustment in here for that, just like where use separate audio device to play ringtone simultaneously. I don't know what that is. What was it saying it was about? Oh, that was to make it ring out of. So if somebody rang into the call, I guess, instead of using, instead of outputting over your HDMI, it'll output over the phone speaker. So that's actually not bad. We can leave that alone.
I'm gonna have 2 to 4 numbers that aren't here.
Let me make sure I'm going to hit test speaker. And that's what we want. So I mean,
I think that auto setting is
that could have been, like I say, if there,
as much of our problem as anything, and I didn't even think we could get into that.
yeah, I mean, if you had some just ambient noise that was just going and it was trying real hard to try and cut back that noise, a hiss or something. If the fans were on, you'll hear some. So I'm putting that to low. So it's only going, that's not going to try very hard to filter much noise out. That's as the lowest sensitivity that you can make before it starts attacking stuff. I do notice it looks like on some of these you have gates. I don't know if they're actually on or not. Oh, well, of course the microphone I'm using doesn't have one on it, or it does, it's just not that active. But you can leave it on. I wasn't trying to change anything. What the cuss? Get back. I'm just at a bad angle. Okay.
That's a better angle.
Yeah. I mean,
This will mute it.
Leave it wide, Mike.
okay, so yeah, I mean, the gate is on. That might be screwed, like if it was something that was more like intermittent microphones that seem to be cutting in and out, maybe just turn the gates off on all the stuff during the meetings, because what the gate does is basically, I don't know if you, stop me if I'm explaining something you know already, but the idea of the gate is like sitting here, the ambient noise, that general hiss you get from the microphone just
Right.
sitting, it won't let that go through. It basically it sets a threshold that it says, okay, you've got to be making at least this much noise before we'll actually
Right.
make noise.
Right. Which is what you want normally.
In a lot of applications, yeah, I mean, it cuts down, like I said, that hiss or, I use it, drums a lot, because drums will vibrate, or if you put a gate on it, then it makes it so it's, you know,
Push speakers at a podium.
yeah, not,
Because no one's that easy to podium to make noise.
and you might want a little bit more gate on like a lectern or a podium or something, because people might shuffle some papers around up there, they might rustle their clothes while they rub against it. But I have an ongoing problem with the pulpit in my church. There's an air vent from the air conditioning that points right at it. And the wind, yeah, they moved it one day and said, well, it looks a lot better up here, so we're gonna put it up
You made
here.
it worse, right?
And so now it. And I got the EQ set, so you can't really hear that in the house. Like it just, you hear the air blowing, so it's not that bad. But in the recordings, it's just this
terrible.
low,
You hear.
and it's annoying as hell. And like, if you try and get rid of it, well, then you get people who go up there and mumble a little bit, you talk real low, you're not saying range, just to say noise. So you hear every third word out of their mouth, maybe, and then they get mad. Well, how come you can't understand? How come you didn't unmute his microphone during the
Well, it was
presentation?
unmuted.
It was unmuted. He just wasn't. He was looking at the presentation on the wall, not facing the microphone and mumbling.
You know,
So
I get sick every time I tell people that you have to speak to the microphone, because
Yeah.
we cannot hear you.
yeah, so someone.
And they still don't even look at the microphone. They're going,
Look at the mic, talk to the mic, it's your friend.
You know,
I want to get up there. It won't bite you.
I won't get to the cattle prod. It won't bite you, but I will.
okay, so the recordings just go there. You're not messing with any of the backgrounds or anything. Want to be in space time?
That's fine. Works for me, and I'm fussy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see any other settings in here that could possibly be affecting it. So
I think turning off that audio is,
Are there any settings in YouTube that could do that to us?
well, I mean, I don't know the ins and outs of how he set. Oh, yep, that's changing the thing.
We set the meeting up in Zoom, then he launches it through YouTube. Now, I'm not sure why he does that, but he does.
yeah, we looked and we figured out how it happens.
Yeah. Oh. Here's the about thing.
It's our goal to get to the point where all we have to do is sit down and proctor it, not do any setup at all.
Right. Well.
Am I correct in thinking that Zoom has a finite number of free viewers?
I don't think that's the case.
The only reason I'm asking is somebody says, oh, you can only have 40.
No, the limit on Zoom is not number of players, it's the number of minutes. 40 minutes with all license.
Oh, is that what our license is? Well, then they,
The 41st minute of the license, you are cut off.
Yeah, I'm not
the
quite.
easy fix for that is their meetings are usually running 120 minutes.
Hmm.
So you buy
No,
130
I
minute
understand,
license.
but we get the same problem with another organization trying to run meetings. You can't get the business done in 40 minutes. So free license doesn't work. Now you have to pay money to run meetings on Zoom if that's what you choose to do. Or you need to find some other means to run the meeting.
And I think that's why I flipped to YouTube.
But even YouTube now is, once you, again, every gate, but number of users on YouTube, and then they kick you out, or kick you out.
Well, this isn't telling me if it's coming in stereo or not either. I was kind of hoping it might automatically detect that, but it's not. So I'm just gonna change what I did there.
Changed a couple things, did you?
Only slightly. Nothing for the worse, I found. So, I think we can probably. Just heading to meeting. Or at least stop it.
Good.
Yeah, stop live streaming.
And then we can exit.